Hey everyone, this is Moon from Bibliomaniac Cinephile, and I know that it's been a couple of days since the Eternal trailer or teaser has been released, and it's a pretty big teaser. It's a 2 minute 10-second teaser, and it has ton of details and Easter eggs in it. So I really don't know if I'd be able to break down every single aspect of it in this particular video, but I have my system open right beside me, like I do every single time when I'm breaking down a particular teaser or a trailer. But I'll try and get the best out of it. Although if I've missed something, please do mention it in the comment section, and don't chastise me for it, please, because I'm really not that well familiar with with Eternals in general. So yeah, right, let's go. Now in the very first shot, which is a pretty wide shot, you can see that there is a sharp angled ship arriving the earth, and you can actually see early men or men from early civilizations just watch it in an awestruck manner, just witness the whole scene, which clearly says that this whole scenario or scene takes us back to a time when human beings were not that familiar with the current civilized world. And that ship consists of the Eternals, the 10 Eternals. And Eternals by name itself is pretty self-explanatory, as you can see that they have been living or they have been alive for quite some time, and they're immortals. They do not die. And they have been made by the celestial bodies or the celestial gods, which are these giant robots. And if you would have watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's a particular scene in which they do show or they do talk about those celestial gods or those celestial beings, which in turn have created the Eternals. And while watching the whole, when the trailer starts, you can actually hear the song "The End of the World" by David Skeeter, and that song kind of personifies the whole teaser or the whole movie in a way. And it says that the movie is not going to be all jolly and merry. It's not going to be a merry ride. And in fact, the whole narrative of the trailer pretty much says that it's going to be a pretty dark movie, which you usually don't get to watch in a Marvel movie, apart from probably the Infinity Wars or Endgame, or there are few movies in general. But that is something that we have to note down. And in that particular shot from that ship, you can see Richard Madden's character Icarus and Cersei, which is being played by an actress that I really don't know her name of, but you can see that they are witnessing Earth right in front of them, and she says that, "Isn't it beautiful?" I'm probably paraphrasing, but she says that, and you can see a bit of skepticism in Richard Madden's eyes. And Icarus is the character that leads Eternals as a whole, as a team, along with Tina, which is Angelina Jolie's character. And I'm really waiting for Angelina Jolie, because I'd be watching her in the big screen after a very long time. I love her as an actor. I'm a huge fan. And Tina is the commander or the combat leader of the Eternals. And throughout the video, throughout the whole trailer or the teaser, you can actually see that she's pretty disappointed, or she's not that happy after arriving on Earth. And there was a particular video in which they did mention that she's probably pregnant or something like that, which I really don't know if it's true or not, but it could be a mere rumor, but you never know, it could be true too. And you can actually see there's some sort of a cosmos energy or something that is kind of weaving at the back of every single Eternal. And there's a shot in which they show Tina Tina's costume or maybe armor is kind of radiating some sort of energy, and the pattern of this energy, or that the pattern of that particular energy that radiates out of every single eternal is a bit different. The design and the shape is a bit different, which says that every single eternal derive energy from different sources. And you can also see Salma Hayek, who plays Ajak in this movie. And Ajak is the spiritual leader and connects spiritually with every single living being on this planet. And in the trailer, she also says that we've never, which again I'm paraphrasing, but she says that we've never really interfered with any of the humanly activities or the world in general until now, which I don't know if it is vengeful, vindictive, or I don't know if it is for them to help the human beings, because Eternals were sent to the earth by the celestial bodies to help human beings. And you can also see a shot in which Cersei is irrigating the field with the help of her hands, and there's literally water coming out of her hand, and she's helping the irrigation of the particular field for early men. And you can see how connected they are with nature and how helpful they are. And there is a particular shot in that teaser in which you can see Cersei walk through the field and she's caressing those little plants, which can be compared, which is comparable to that shot of Thanos walking through the field in Avengers, and he's caressing those giant plants. So they're saying that it's pretty much related to what happens in the Avengers, Infinity Wars, and Endgame, and they are kind of responsible for what Thanos did. Which again, I really don't know how it's going to be, how they're going to connect these two aspects of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it could be true again, because all of these things that I'm saying right now, I've done my research, and I could only point out things that I've seen right in front of my eyes. And when it comes to Marvel, I'm really not a huge fan. Although I really do appreciate their work, I'm really not a die-hard fan that I would know every single intricacy or detail. So, from what I can gather, I do think that they're somehow related for whatever happens in every single aspect of Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they are the Eternals, and they're the godly beings or the demigods. Also, there is also one particular shot of Phantos, who, in fact, when the trailer starts, Phantos is kind of wielding a weapon, or probably creating a weapon. There's a transition to the whole Marvel Studios logo from that point, which is a beautiful transition, in fact. But when Phantos is wielding that weapon, you can somehow say that he is the reason, or he is the source of weaponry in this whole universe. And there are so many shots in which Tina is fighting or probably wielding a weapon, or another person is being shown from the Eternals, and there are a few cards on the backdrop who are holding a particular shield which resembles Captain America's shield. And in fact, it has those concentric circles and a giant star in between. And I really don't know how this is possible, because they are kind of showing what's happening in the ancient world, but I really didn't understand how that those particular cards are holding on to that shield, which has concentric circles, which resembles the American flag, American Union flag. So that kind of didn't kind of register. I couldn't kind of process it, so we have to watch the movie for us to understand what's happening. So those were like the minor intricate details that I could point out. And also Kumail Nanjiani's character, I think his name is Gilgamesh, has an alter ego wherein he is a Bollywood actor or something like that, and there is a sequence where he's dancing, and you can see that particular sequence. And this movie also stars Kit Harington. Kit Harington and Richard Madden both were in Game of Thrones. Richard Madden played Robb Stark, and Kit Harington played Jon Snow, the bastard kid who ends up being Aegon Targaryen at the end. I really don't want to talk about it right now, because Game of Thrones season 8 was a huge letdown. But in that particular trailer, you can see that Cersei, who is the love interest of Richard Madden's character Icarus, is also the love interest of Kit Harington's character. I don't know the name of, but he is he's a human being, and he's a love. He I think because Eternals are living for such a long time, Cersei probably gains a lot of affection for Kit Harington's character. And I really don't know how this works, but they're saying that in this, the memory of Eternals is being wiped off, is being washed off or wiped off, and it pretty much resembles, or this rendition is pretty much a remake or probably inspired by Neil Gaiman's rendition of the Eternals. Neil Gaiman is a famous storyteller and a comic book writer, and in his rendition of the Eternals happen to lose their memory. So this could be one of those particular stories where she loses her memory and falls for Kit Harington's character. So that is a love triangle, if you see. There's a love triangle aspect to it. And the most important thing are the visuals and the way it's been shot. I mean, I was gobsmacked because Marvel, I've always mentioned this, Marvel has never let us down and would never let us down. And in fact, if you see that particular wide shot which shows the whole city, you can see that it kind of resembles Babylon. And there's the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which is one of the lost 7 wonders of the world, which clearly says that this is set in the ancient world, but there's also transition to the modern world. And the whole city kind of represents Mesopotamia in a way, because they say that ancient civilization panned out around 4 major rivers like the Yellow River, Nile River, or the Indus River, or there's another particular river around which Mesopotamian civilization thrived. And what I particularly believe is that this particular civilization is the Mesopotamian civilization, and that's what a lot of people believe too. So I think that could be a major aspect of the movie where the whole plot is based on. I know that I'm not mentioning a lot of characters from the Eternals, but there is one particular character that intrigued me a lot, and it was Makari, a character who could run at an immense speed or pace. And you can actually see a shot in which there's a fighting sequence and she runs very quickly and saves one of the people. And there's another shot in which she's reading a book at an insane speed, which kind of even looks a bit funny. And you can actually, in that particular shot, you can see an Egyptian cat, a statuette of that, and you can see a scroll right beside. And you can also see a few artifacts, ancient artifacts, which kind of signifies ancient civilizations. And there's one more detail that I particularly forgot, was in which there's a particular dagger being shown, and in that dagger there are 10 beads, which represents or denotes the 10 different Eternals, because there are 10 Eternals. And I guess I kind of pronounced Phastos wrong in the video earlier, so apologies for that, because I'm really not familiar with Eternals, like I said. But these were the main details that comes to my mind when I watch this trailer. And there's another character named Drug who can kind of affect, who can control people's mind, and many say that he's the reason why the Eternals lost memory, or human beings lost memory of their previous civilizations or whatever that is. And you can also see a fight sequence in which a few human beings are holding onto their guns or weapons, and their eyes are a bit glittery, which clearly says or mentions that Drug has a hold over them. So it could be true that he's the main culprit in this whole story. And in the final shot, there's a comic movement. There's a funny scene in which Richard Madden says that he will take over Steve Rogers' position in the Avengers, which pretty much says that they're very closely knit or related to the Avengers. And one more main aspect is that the cosmos, or the energy that radiates out of the body, is pretty much similar to what happens in Doctor Strange. So maybe a lot of our unanswered questions regarding the MCU might be answered. Maybe it could be a cathartic moment for us fans, or a revelation for us, or it could be a huge enlightenment for us fans. So we never know. Fingers crossed. A lot of people are not that excited because they think that this movie has been directed by Chloe Zhao, who won the Oscars, and she usually directs these documentary movies or really esoteric and not that commercial movies, and focus more on the artistic aspect of a movie. But she's done a wonderful job in this, I have to say this. In fact, a lot of people were comparing another director who is just like Chloe Zhao and focuses on these artistic movies, and they were comparing her with that particular director, and said that this is like giving that particular director a movie like Eternals. And I think she has already proven them wrong with the visuals and the way the teaser has been released. So it's bang on. Let's go. I'm not gonna rate this movie. I'm not gonna rate this teaser yet because I really have no knowledge regarding this. So I'm gonna stay humble, and I'm gonna wait for this. Let's just wait and watch. That's all I can say. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this video as much as you can. And if you have any particular apprehension or problem with this video regarding the detailing, you can mention it on the comment section. Thank you.